We've been seeing the blue states out there like California, Washington State, handing out CDLs to illegal aliens, people in the country illegally, non-citizens, and there have been a number of incidents in the last month or so where these folks have crashed and killed Americans. There were at least two that I've seen. You guys released a bombshell explosive report about California and Governor Newsom not following the law about this. Can you give us the latest on what has happened with regard to this issue and how you guys are reining in states like California on this?
So there's two issues. There's non-domiciled commercial driver's licenses. Let me first talk about English proficiency. Mm-hmm. That was the first issue we came out with. There's a long-standing rule. We didn't create this rule in this administration. It's been here for decades. You have to be proficient in the English language, speaking and then understanding road signs. Pretty common sense for a commercial driver. In the Obama administration, they basically switched the penalty to be a slap on the wrist. No real penalty if you can't speak the language. We went back to the pre-Obama change and would take vehicles out of service, which is very complicated for a company if you're taking their vehicles out of service. We went back to the old rule. One of the problems we have is California was the only state that, in essence, have told their law enforcement officers not to enforce English proficiency rules. Now, that California driver who's not proficient in English, if they drive in Oklahoma and get pulled over, they're like, aha, well, listen, he was pulled over in California. They didn't do anything, but obviously he can't speak the language. So California's not enforcing the rules. So we pulled $40 million from California because of that. The second issue is a non-domiciled CDL. So what does that mean? Oh, the rule. This was set up so if, again, I'm from Wisconsin, I want to go to Texas. I'm not domiciled in Texas, but I want to get a Texas commercial driver's license. I could come from Wisconsin, where I'm a resident. I could go to Texas, and I could get a commercial driver's license in Texas, and it's all legal, and it's made for Americans going from state to state. Well, like many good rules, this was contorted and abused, and now you see foreigners coming into the country and getting non-domiciled commercial driver's licenses. It was not intended for them, but that's how the law was contorted. So these commercial driver's licenses were issued like states in California, like in California, where if I'm here, I'm a foreigner, my work permit lasts until the end of this year. California would issue them a commercial driver's license, maybe that expires 2 years after their work permit. That's an incentive to stay in the country longer, number one. But two, there's no justification to give them I don't know what their status is going to be, after the end of this year. Yeah. So a lot of them were issued illegally, number one. Number two, some of them weren't here legally at all. So you have an illegal in the country that should actually, when they come into the DMV, they should be deported. Instead, they were given a commercial driver's license. And again, this is our big rigs, but they can also, they can drive hazardous materials, they can drive school buses. Incredibly problematic. And so the country has been flooded with these kind of drivers. It has decimated a lot of our this is not why we're doing it, but it truly has decimated the American truck driver, where it used to be a good living you could make. Not any longer.
I'll tell you, we hear from truckers all the time because we host radio, and a lot of them are listening to satellite radio around the country. I get calls every Saturday morning from at least a handful of truckers around the country, and it has been going on for years, where they are raising these exact issues, particularly the English proficiency issue.
And they're happy now we're addressing it. The president has said, make sure we follow the intent of the laws, and that's what we're doing. So basically, we told every state, you can't issue any more of these non-domiciled CDLs, these foreigner CDLs. So they have stopped. But then we said, you have to go back and review for the ones you've illegally issued. And a lot of states have been willing to comply. Again, California has been unwilling. So there's additional money we can pull from them. At one point, we can pull their authority to even issue commercial driver's licenses. Now, I don't want to fight with Gavin Newsom. I just want them to comply. You want people to be safe, right? And if you see these crashes, it is truly problematic. You want well-trained individuals on American roadways. And I don't think we feel like that's necessarily the case after some of these rogue states.